My name's Erica Lunsford. I am part of the Women in Big Data Silicon Valley board, and I started actually, I guess, in the November timeframe. So it's been great becoming part of this group. I've been working with the group for a while, just in different capacities when I worked at some of my previous jobs. So during this meeting, please, everyone, if you can make sure that you're muted, except for Deb, who's going to be speaking. Q&A is going to be at the end of the presentation. If you can submit questions to the chat, that would be great, just so that we can kind of organize it, the questions and answers coming across. And then I'll also be making a blog on this session, the presentation materials and the video links. So we'll stop recording after Deb's presentation, so that way any questions are not going to be part of the presentation itself. So Women in Big Data, just to give you a really quick overview, is we're really trying to promote women in big data careers. So that's really by inspiring, connecting, growing, and elevating. So it's kind of two-pronged. One is more on the skills side, and the other is on the connection side, and really bringing all of that together. And it is called Women in Big Data, but we also welcome our male allies as well, because we think it's important to build that community overall. We are fairly global at this point. We're over 17,000 members in Women in Big Data. We're in many different countries, and we're opening new chapters all the time. And so it's pretty exciting how much it's grown in the last 4 to 5 years. We also have sponsors and partners which help with this. So if any of your companies would like to sponsor in something around their diversity side, we're always open to that type of thing. If you're not part of Women in Big Data, we would love to have you join. You can see us at womeninbigdata.org, and you can also find us on LinkedIn and several other social media outlets. So I'm really pleased to present Deborah Scrow today. She's going to be introducing our group mentoring program. She really did the design behind this program. And what we're trying to do is to get a program that enables us to scale while at the same time delivering a lot of the same benefits that you get from one-on-one mentoring. And we think that there's some additional benefits, which Deb's going to go over with you guys today. Deb is a veteran of the financial services industry, has run many large-scale technology projects within financial services. Throughout her career, though, she not only paid attention to the technology and her own skills and moving through the organization and making sure that there were quality deliverables, but she also thought about the people that she was working with. And she's always been a part of mentoring programs and coaching and really developing people. Deb is very generous with both her time and her thought as she works with people. And now she's embarking on a new career where she's helping people and coaching them on how to direct their career on the technology side, and that's for both men and women. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Deb so that she can explain to you what we're going to be doing on our Women in Big Data group mentoring program.
All right, and thank you, Erica. And thank you everyone for joining us for this introduction to the new Women in Big Data mentoring program. Before we start, I'd like to thank the Silicon Valley chapter leadership for their support in launching this initiative. Thank you, ladies. And also a thank you to Erica, Suchi, and Rupa, who acted as my board of directors in pulling this idea together. As Erica mentioned in the introduction, I come from the financial technology world on Wall Street. In my career there, I developed products for stock exchanges, brokerage, and banking. And throughout that time, I dedicated energy to developing women and men through coaching, mentoring, and running mentoring programs. I currently have a career coaching private practice, as Erica mentioned, centered on serving women in technology. And it is my great honor to be with you today as a fellow member of the Women in Big Data organization. Let's take a look at what we'll cover in the next 15 minutes or so. We start at a general level and talk about mentoring and its place in the career enrichment spectrum. We'll move into greater detail about facilitated group mentoring, which is the model we've selected for our program. And then we'll review the specifics of that program with particular attention to the heart, which is individual goal selection. Then we'll end with what you need to do to register, which you'll be able to do today at the end of this meeting. Let's take a brief look at mentoring in general. Mentoring is one of many paths or avenues for the career enrichment, taking its place among informal contact, informational interviewing, formal training, webinars, and sponsorship. Mentoring is typically a formal program sponsored by an organization for the development of its participants. We in Women in Big Data benefit from a number of these other career enrichment paths through our membership in the organization. You may have participated as a mentor or a mentee in a formal mentoring program, maybe at your job, college, or through a community organization. The most common mentoring format is one-on-one, where one mentor and one mentee are paired for a designated period of time, working on a specific goal or purpose. Variation of that model is group mentoring, where one mentee is paired to more than one mentor is paired to more than one mentee and meets with them as a group. This also is a formalized program for the most part. Peer mentoring can be significantly less formal than the previous two models. This is when a group of people get together to support and advance each other. An example of this from years past would be lean-in groups. And I propose that study groups and book clubs can also be thought of as peer mentoring. Which leads us to the facilitated peer mentoring. This is the model we'll be building our program around, and it combines the practice of group mentoring with the self-driven nature of peer mentoring. Let's do a quick compare and contrast of facilitated group mentoring to one-on-one. They share many advantages. As this slides show, they both are goal-based activities, provide direct feedback to the participants, occur in a safe, confidential environment, use tracking and monitoring, are guided by an experienced mentor, and give attention to the participants. Now, in addition, group mentoring offers additional benefits, such as expanding the network of the participants, provides a wider perspective, has an opportunity for richer brainstorming activities, and is a vehicle for empathy development. This comes at a slight disadvantage because in group mentoring, there is a little less individual attention. Personal needs are balanced against group needs, and there's a little less flexibility for scheduling. What will our program look like? We are launching a 6-session program, which will start around March 30th and will be meeting bi-weekly until around June 8th. The start date is based on the applicant's availability. Each session is 60 minutes long and will be meeting at 12 noon to 1 Pacific time. Of course, this will be through Zoom and the link will be sent out before the first session. Myself and Erica will participate as co-facilitators to help with the logistics, assist groups and individuals explore topics, and stay on track with the selected goals. We will start with a cohort of about 10 mentees, which we will put together from the applicants whose availability line up and have similarity of experience while offering variety of perspective. Now, you may ask what happens if a person is not selected for that first cohort. Anyone who applies will be contacted for future interest in following cohorts. Each session will use a large group and a small group format. The large group is for brainstorming, group discussion, and we have a panel discussion with guest speakers lined up as well. The small group breakouts are where people will focus on their goals, share the progress that they've made, and talk about any barriers they are encountering. This is where accountability and support focus will occur. You can kind of think of this as a Scrum stand-up style meeting. At the end of this small group, we'll get together again as a large group and we'll close out for the session. Now, the heart of this program is goal-based. Each mentee will select a goal to work on during the program. This could be either a short-term goal, achievable within the 6 sessions, or you may decide to work on a long-term goal, starting the work within the program, but have a strategy to continue that goal development after the program ends. Each participant will create a plan supporting the goal and discuss within the small group activities, again, how they're doing with the progress or any help they may need in overcoming barriers. The cohort will be available for giving feedback and encouragement to the teammates. What shape or emphasis might your goal take? Let me suggest either pie or cake, your choice. A pie focus on goals is based on mastering business fundamentals, particularly performance, not your performance, but understanding the performance of your company or your industry, working on image, enhancing your executive image, or developing a strategy for greater exposure to opportunities within your organization, people, or even the decision-making process. Now, this pie method of mentoring is a newer focus in the mentoring literature, not very often spoken about. However, Susan Colantuno speaks and writes about this frequently. She calls this the missing 33% of women's preparation for leadership roles. We'll be talking more about that during the mentoring program. The other approach to goal setting is CAKE, and this is more familiar focus to us. It concentrates on the individual's fundamentals, such as confidence building, attitude and aptitude, connections to resources, and encouragement to reach for an unimaginable goal. Whichever you focus your goal on is based on addressing your need in your repertoire. Now, what do you need to do? Register by March 24th, and do it now is our advice to you. We'll be posting this link in the chat after the Q&A. Commit to attending all sessions, working on your goal, accepting feedback, and offering support. We also ask that at the end of the program, you complete a feedback survey. And if ever you have any questions or need to reach out to us, you'll be able to through the email address listed below, mentoring@womeninbigdata.org. And so with that, let's open it up for thoughts and questions.